An article about Babuji. Dear friends, it all started in 1976 when I was about to turn 20 years of age. One of my college friends, who would watch me trying to meditate without too much success, invited me to go with him to meet a lady who he said would help me to go into a trance right away. It appealed to me, so I agreed, and sitting for the first meditation session was the most amazing experience I had ever had. I felt that I had come home. It was so profound that I longed to meet the guide of this meditation system. His name was Sri Ramachandra and he lived in Shahjahanpur, Uttar Pradesh in northern India. Although I continued to meditate every day, I had to wait until my college vacation almost a year later in 1977 to meet him. And when I finally arrived at his home, I found him to be a loving, simple, genuine, down to earth person. In fact, his utter simplicity amazed me. I wondered how there could be such purity in a person, such simplicity. His whole being radiated love, and I felt the transmission continuously flowing through him. He was silent most of the time, but there was always inner communion, and I remained busy inside feeling his presence. That was the beginning of my onward journey with my beloved. Babuji, as he was known to us, was himself the disciple of a great saint and guru, Sri Ramachandra of Fatehgarh, known as Lalaji, who departed from this world in August 1931. At that time, Lalaji left no appointed successor, telling his followers, "When the candle is lit, the moths themselves will fly to it." Then, in 1942, Babuji felt blessings from Lalaji Sahib pour into every fiber of his being, and in 1944, he was instructed to start working as Lalaji's successor representative. The partnership of these two great souls, their spiritual legacy, will be remembered until the end of time, and their capacity to help seekers evolve spiritually is already the stuff of legends. There are so many aspects to this legacy that it is hard to know where to start. Perhaps with the most tangible and easiest to explain, Babuji's books. Babuji's writings are ready really for the benefit of future generations, but it is worth the time spent in studying them even today. Often we read them and we seem to understand the words, but the meaning, the deep inner significance keeps eluding us. He describes the inner journey of spirituality in a very precise scientific manner, and he also provides us with a myriad of simple techniques to be adapted for the attainment of perfection. He enlightens us on how and where to do the spiritual work, how to refine the ego, and the various principles to be adapted in our life if we want to evolve. His approach is that of pure yogic research, and his findings are presented with a natural humility and insignificance. Even more importantly, at the turn of the 20th century, the accepted knowledge in the yogic sciences had not really changed for thousands of years. It was still largely defined by Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, in the same way that the science of physics was still largely defined by Newton's laws of motion, and just as Einstein's discoveries have radically changed our understanding of the physical world, Babuji's discoveries have changed forever our understanding of the metaphysical world. Babuji redefines the human chakra system, giving a detailed description of the spiritual journey through the chakras all the way up to the center of our existence. He also explains the vital importance of the heart chakra in that journey and why meditation on the heart is essential if we are to reach the highest dimensions of human potential. Like all good scientific research, the results of Babuji's spiritual work on traversing through various chakras are predictable and obey a certain consistency. The sketch here shows three conventional chakras: Mooladhara chakra, Swadhisthana chakra, and Nabhi chakra. Then the point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5 near the throat chakra, point 6 near the Agya chakra, point 7, point 8, and point 9. Point 10, then Sahasradala Kamal at the crown of the head, point 11 behind it, point 12 back of the head, and point 13 below that. Most of these early experiments were done on one of his associates, Sister Kasturi, and Babuji describes all this in the simplest of terms. His research is so accessible in these books. Yes, this is still the tip of the iceberg, because it is not just knowledge from his personal experience that we need, but experience, and Babuji willingly offered his services to guide us along the same journey that he described in the books. He offered to lead us to the center of our own existence, the same original source that existed before the time of the creation. Through the simple methods he created for this purpose, and he taught us how to help others along the way, so that this simple path of evolution and enlightenment could spread from heart to heart throughout humanity. The significance of this legacy is something so profound that it may seem unimaginable, like science fiction. Enlightenment for everyone. In the past, enlightenment was reserved for those few sages and saints who could embark on a pilgrimage to find a very wise teacher who would lead them on the journey towards God. Never before had the possibility existed for all of humanity to have their consciousness expanded and enlightened beyond anything we can find in the history books. And here was Babuji offering it to the world, the simplest of methods, a set of teachings beyond any religion, culture, or particular work of life. He was offering the highest spiritual evolution to all of us as our birthright, and in fact, he helped us to understand that it is our birthright, that this spiritual evolution to the highest becomes the real goal of all human life. One of the most significant secrets revealed in Babuji's diaries comes from 24th March 1945. On that auspicious day, Lord Krishna intercommunes with Babuji to tell him that he has been initiated by the ultimate being directly. This is the first example of its kind since the beginning of the universe. And what sort of person can attract that level of unparalleled divine grace? As a witness to a little I saw of him, here is what I can share. There was not 1 ounce of ego in his personality. He was the perfect conduit, the perfect vehicle through which divinity could work. He simply witnessed, allowed the work to flow through him, and yielded to everything in this universe with a level of human etiquette that is unparalleled. His footprint, whether we consider it to be ecological, social, intellectual, cultural, or spiritual, was literally asymptotic to zero. He never criticized even the worst of his associates and showed no favoritism to those who supported him. What flowed and continues to flow through him are love, simplicity, purity, utmost humility, and the keenest level of awareness and discernment. By studying Babuji's subtlety of presence, we receive the ultimate inspiration, the ultimate masterclass in human behavior and personality. But Even all of this cannot in any way describe Babuji, who he was during his lifetime, and also what he means to me and to many others who have known him. It cannot be put into words. Some of the great mystical poets through the ages have come closest to describing the nature of love, but they all fall short. Babuji taught us about love. He personified love in life, and he continues to let that love flow to us so that we may blossom like lotus flowers and become who we truly ought to be. May we use it wisely. Still today, that first meditation session from 1976 and my first meeting with Babuji in 1977 stay with me. In some way, everything was already done by him in those first moments, and yet the journey continues. He continues to guide me ever forward, swimming towards that never ending goal to which he will always be beckoning. And the beauty of it is that it all happens within. Babuji's capacity as a master means that he is able to do everything without leaving any footprint even within our hearts. Such a subtle fragrance of non presence presence is the true signature of divinity, and we are so blessed as a humanity to have it in our midst. All the best.